A very good afternoon. You're watching Your Stocks in the Mumbai News Studio. I'm Ekta Batra and with me is Vinny Motiwala. Well, it's turning out to be a session where we are seeing further upside for the markets at this point in time. So we have the Nifty, which is above 25,900. So we've crossed that level on an intraday basis 2 to 3 times today. So up around 0.4%. We have the mid-cap index, which is up around 0.7% as well. So going strong for the mid-caps and the broader market participation. In fact, as the days progress, the advanced decline ratio has held extremely steady. So there's been no sort of worsening which has taken place in terms of the number of stocks which are advancing as compared to the number of stocks which have been declining. So as you can see, the gap is extremely healthy and wide at this point in time and has been through the trading session. Otherwise, for the Bank Nifty, it's up around 0.5% as well. So no problems coming in terms of the key indices. We have a couple of stocks. We have a lot of stocks which are actually at fresh 52-week highs. So just keep your eye out on a couple of stocks such as Bajaj Auto, which is managing to gain and go from strength to strength. Remember, it's past that 12,000 rupee mark. So 12,275 is currently where Bajaj Auto is, giving it companies M&M along with stocks such as ONGC and others. Hi, Vinny.
Hi, Vinny. Hi, Ekta. Good afternoon. But yes, surely a lot of stocks that are buzzing in trade. And also, let's talk about PSUs, right? PSU Bank, that's been quite exciting among the top sectoral gainer that we're talking about. So SBI leading the charts there specifically. Obviously, you did highlight the banking side, but SBI, IOB, Bank of Maharashtra, Union Bank, all of them, are managing to hold on to very strong traction and gain. We also have the Fleet Realty, which is holding on to good gains of almost 2% as well. So yes, a lot of these realty names are buzzing in trade, whether you look at something like a Macrotech Developers, let's pull that up because that's something that we're watching out for as well. Other than that, at Oberoi Realty, Godrej Properties, among these names is something to watch out for. But let's get started with all your stock related queries, and our experts for today, we do have Astha Jain as well as Ruchit Jain joining in with us this afternoon. A very good afternoon to both of you all, and thank you so much for joining in with us on CNBC TV18. I'll start with the first query. It's an interesting one. This is coming in on Tata Motors, and we were just talking about how, all these auto stocks have suddenly started seeing a buzz in the recent time as well. And despite the concerns around the global OEM guidance cuts coming in, what is it that one should be watching out for? Now, Pratik is writing to us, and this is from Noida. He's holding 50 shares of Tata Motors, and this is at a price of 300 rupees per share. He wants to know whether he should continue to hold this or maybe look to sell. Astha, good afternoon. I'll start with you with this first query.
Hi, good afternoon to all of you. Talking about Tata Motors, my idea here is to stay invested in the counter, although we have seen weak, strong stock performance if we talk about the bourses. But what we believe is that their JLR China, which is having certain issue, because we all know that China market is not looking so strong for automobile industry as a whole, but it has a very small market share. And there also we feel that profitability and debt will not be, there are not much issues over those parameters. Now, talking about Indian markets also, Indian markets are looking strong, especially CV market is looking very strong. That will help the company in showing improved margin. This is what we believe. And the company has launched new products. Their inventory are low. So, if I keep all these points into mind, it is definitely signaling towards the northward, trajectory for this counter. And hence, we are positive on this counter. I would like to say that remain invested in the counter and hold is a strategy from my side. Price target can be set at around 1150 to 1170 odd levels in the longer term.
Okay, all right. And Ruchit, what is your call on Tata Motors on the technicals?
Yeah, hi, very good afternoon to all of you. Well, technically, the short-term trend seems to be a bit weak because you have seen from the high levels, the stock has formed a lower top, low bottom structure. But if I look at some mid to long-term structure, then this just seems to be a corrective phase within an uptrend. There might be some more correction possible. Initial support is around 950, which is broken. Then we could see some slide towards 870 mark. But I think there's the maximum downside, which technically seems that in this corrective phase, the stock could go to. So his buying price is very good. So looking at that, I think he has a good margin of safety that he can wait for this corrective phase to get over. And then in the next leg of uptrend, the stock could again do quite well. So I think if he can keep patience, then since he's a long-term investor, I would recommend him to continue to hold on this.
Okay, you'd recommend to hold on Tata Motors. Well, we have another Tata company query which is coming in. Kriti writes to us from Pune, holds 30 shares of TCS, which is bought at 4,000 odd rupees. So sitting on a profit there. Wants to know what to do, stay invested or exit at current levels. Well, what would your view be on this, Ruchit? TCS, it's a marquee portfolio stock. What's your sense in terms of a recommendation? Would you stay on, and what is your stop loss, your target price as well?
So I think definitely it's good to stay on this stock. I think the large cap IT names, the kind of move that we have seen in last 3.5 months, it certainly seems that the corrective phase is behind, and these stocks have started a mid to long term uptrend. So I think in any kind of corrective phase, the major support for the stock is around 4,050, where on the weekly chart the 40 EMA plays, and the buying price I think just below that. So I think the can continue to hold on the stock at current levels. In case if the stock comes to around that 4,050 range, which is the weekly support, then those would be good levels for fresh buying as well in TCS.
Okay, that's something that we're keeping an eye out on the technicals for TCS as well. But Astha, on fundamentals, what are you looking at in terms of the IT side? And would TCS be among your top bets if you're looking at the IT pack fundamentally?
So looking after the IT pack, I think one or two stocks, that is TCS, Infosys, these two are looking good to us, with one disclaimer that we might hold these stock in our PMS as well. So now talking about TCS, we are positive on this counter because the kind of financial delivery they has done for this quarter, quarter one of FY25 was really good. And in fact, what we believe that their LTM book to bill ratio is still 1.4x, which in itself depicts the strong revenue visibility with the strong additions which we have seen in their clients also. So I think in the longer term, this stock is well poised to show strong returns, and hence we are positive on this counter, recommending a hold on this counter with a price target of 4550 to 4600 at the initial levels.
Okay, all right. So that's on TCS. We now have Pranav, who writes to us from Chennai, holds 20 shares of HDFC Bank, which he's bought at around 1,000 odd rupees. So he's sitting on a good profit there. Wants to know what to do, whether to hold or sell this particular counter. Interestingly, we've got all frontline stock queries this time round, from Tata Motors to TCS to HDFC Bank. Before we get to HDFC Bank, Astha, I just wanted your sense. Is there a shift towards maybe a little more investments within the frontline stocks as compared to the broader market, simply because of the kind of run-up that we've seen there?
Yes, definitely. And in that area only, we are very much positive on ICICI Bank also. Now, talking about HDFC Bank, this counter is also looking good to us because the kind of margins they are still maintaining, net interest margin, and the asset quality is strong. Nowadays, these are the major points to focus on if we talk about any sort of bank. And their provision coverage ratio is also decent at around 71%. So I think they have a strong asset quality with a strong PCR ratios with a good margin profile as well. So keeping all these points in mind, we are positive in this counter. But if anyone has to go any particular stock in the banking space, then we are more positive on ICICI Bank with the price target of 1420 odd levels. But still for HDFC Bank, we are positive. So remain invested in this counter. Initial price target can be set at around 1850 odd levels.
Okay, and Ruchit, what's your word coming in on HDFC Bank, where Pranav is holding it at a price of around 1,000 rupees? So should they continue to hold or sell then?
So recently the stock went through a corrective phase where it corrected from 1800 to 1600 kind of level and then consolidated for a while. But good thing was in this entire consolidation phase, the stock did not break its mid to long term support, which were around 1600, 1550, where the 100 DMA was placed. And now the prices have again resumed the uptrend. So it seems that this uptrend should continue going ahead. Technically, initial targets are coming around 1850, which are the 127% retracements of the recent corrective phase. And if that gets surpassed, can expect even levels around 1920. So I think the trend is positive. So continue to ride this trend.
Okay, continue to ride this trend. That's the word coming in for HDFC Bank. But we have a next query also coming in from the banking side, and this one is from Rishabh Srivastav, who's writing from New Delhi, holding 30 shares of PNB at a price of 108. So he wants to know if he should actually switch to some other banking name or continue to hold PNB. Ruchit, what's your word on this?
So for now, I would recommend to continue to hold because of the buying price. The support for the stock is around 105, 104, and which is quite close to the buying price. So I think the risk-reward ratio is favorable for at least a pullback move, if not a resumption of the uptrend. So keep a stop loss below 104 and continue to hold on. And if you get a pullback move towards 121 kind of range, that would be good levels where he can look to book profits.
Okay. What about you, Astha, on PNB?
Even I would recommend hold on this counter. There's no need to switch on any other space because I think the asset quality has shown a strong improvement, and that is the major focus of this bank. And in fact, the provision coverage ratio has also, it is standing strong at around 88%. So I think this bank is also in like our category where the banks which are showing strong performance. So this also holds there. We are positive on this counter, recommending hold, not a buy, but yes, recommending hold with a price target of 125.
125 is the target price that Astha is keeping for PNB and recommending a hold there. But yes, on that note, we'll slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere because after the break also, we'll be taking all your stock-related queries. Welcome back. You're watching Your Stocks, and we still have with us our experts for today, Astha as well as Ruchit. Let's keep it going with your stock-related queries. Now, this one is coming in from Devi, who's writing to us from Chennai. She's holding 300 shares of Sashan Chemical at a price of 680 rupees per share. So she's clearly making a very good profit. Stock is trading around 1,000 levels as of now. Wants to know the future prospect for her investment over here. When you're looking at it, Astha, in the last 1 year, we've seen a very good run-up already for the stock. So should Devi continue to hold this or maybe book out profits now?
I think partial profit booking is always recommended for this counter. The reason behind is that what we have seen is the muted quarterly performance from this counter. So that is one of the reason why I'm recommending for partial profit booking. But we are positive on this counter in the longer term also, because what we have heard from the management is that they are quite excited about the kind of inquiries they are getting from the customers and the engagement. So definitely that will help the company in posting strong numbers going ahead. So because here the case is that cost price is very low, so we are recommending to book partial profit but hold the partial quantity with a price target of somewhere at around 1140 odd levels.
Okay, all right. But Ruchit, would you share that view on Sashan Chemicals? That stock is given very good returns, but would you recommend partial profit booking like Astha has on the fundamentals?
I think yes, that could be a good idea, because if I look at the stock price movement in last 8 to 9 months, the stock has rallied from about 500 to 1050 kind of levels, due to which the momentum readings on the weekly chart frame are quite overbought. So the trend is not negative, but that overbought setups could get cool off either with some price-wise correction or a time-wise correction. So the support base for the stock is now shifted to about 900 kind of levels. So partial profit booking can be done at current levels, and on rest of the positions, it is advisable to keep a stop loss below 900 rupees.
Okay, all right. Well, now let's get in another query. We have Munira Julu, who writes to us from Kerala with an investment question. He says he wants to invest in PG Electroplast and Gravita India for the longer term. Is asking if he can enter at these current levels. So these are the two stocks that he's looking at from the broader markets. Investment query, Astha. So over to you on this one. What would your recommendation be on these two broader market counters?
So talking about Gravita India, with the disclaimer that this stock we are holding in our PMS also, I would like to give my view. So talking about this counter has delivered very strongly over past few years. And now what we have seen is that even the government push is there, which is helping, increasing the scrap, and that will help the company in showing strong performance. In fact, they have the planned expansion in the Europe also. So we believe that this company, although they have shown strong run-up, but still we are believing that there is more to come because of the industry tailwind they are having, and because of the planned expansion they are doing in the other geographies also. On that basis, we are positive on this counter because it is in our PMS. So would like to say that one can hold the counter, but I won't give any price target to this counter.
Okay, and Ruchit, what's your view on the technicals for PG Electroplast? Is it an interesting bet that you would be looking at?
Yes, the long-term trend is positive, but I won't recommend buying at current levels because of the overbought setups, and even there are negative divergences on the charts, which usually comes before some corrective phase. on any corrections, the stock would have initial supports around 530 to 500 range. So I would suggest to wait for some dip towards that 530 kind of levels. When it comes over there, that would be a good time to review for fresh longs.
Okay, that's the word coming in there. But this next query is coming in from Venugopal Reddy. They're from Hyderabad. He's asking about Pricol. Now, he wants to invest 1 lakh rupees at the current market price for Pricol. Ruchit, what's your word for Pricol, right? Because from March till almost August, we've seen a bit of a run-up coming in and then a slight bit of a correction in just the last 1 month of around 6-7% odd that we're seeing. Is this a good time to start investing in Pricol?
Frankly, not a good time to start investing, but if any existing long positions are there, then they can hold on. If you look at the positional chart structures, the kind of returns the stock has generated in last 1.5, 2 years, I think these are quite overbought levels. If I look at the monthly RSI, then it is well above 95 levels. So usually, these are not good times of fresh investment. But yes, the trend is not negative. Any kind of dips, if we get towards 400, then I think those would be good levels where risk-reward ratio would become favorable. Maybe 400 to 420 range. Wait for some dip towards that level. If we do not get a such price-wise correction, then at least a time-wise correction should be there to relieve that overbought setup. So until that overbought setups are cooled off, I won't recommend buying Pricol over here for fresh investments.
Okay, would you recommend it on the fundamentals? The Q1 numbers didn't look bad, Astha. There was, 15% growth in terms of revenue. What is your sense on this auto part maker?
Yes, we recommend hold on this counter. Price target can be set at around 535 to 540 odd levels. The reason behind the optimism about this counter is that the new client addition they have done in the form of Honda two-wheelers, etc. And in fact, the new product also they have launched. And in fact, some of the products are into the pipeline also that really making us excited about this counter. In fact, we are believing that this counter will show uptick in the margin in coming quarters as well. So positive on this counter, recommending hold. Price target can be set at around 535 to 540 odd levels.
Okay, all right. Well, our next question is Karan Patel, who writes to us from Ahmedabad, holds 35 shares of Bharti Airtel, which he's bought at 1200. Wants to know what to do, whether he should stay invested or to exit. This particular counter sitting on a profit. Well, Astha, this stock has been in focus because of the telecom AGR dues. It's been fairly resilient as compared to the reactions that we've seen on that curative pleas being dismissed by the Supreme Court for the likes of Vodafone, etc. So in that context, how would you approach Bharti Airtel? Would you recommend a stay on it?
Yes, we would like to recommend hold on this. Price target, first of all, I would like to give, which is at around 1800 to 1820 odd levels. Yes, the recent news flow is what we find is really working for the company. And what more attractive point about this company is their initiatives. Like they are increasing their rural distribution, so their penetration is increasing. We believe, the company, whatever steps they are taking in order to increase their expansion, their network coverage, that will really help the company in bolstering strong performance going ahead. So we are positive on this counter, and in this space, this is our topmost preferred choice. So yes, Bharti Airtel is a hold from our side. Price target can be set at around 1800 to 1820 levels.
Okay, 1800, 1820 is the target price that you're giving Astha. But Ruchit, what are you looking at in terms of Bharti Airtel on the technicals? Last 1 year, 91% uptake from 1000 today to 1800 levels approximately over there. What's the word?
So the technical structure still remains quite bullish. Whatever corrections that we saw even during the month of June and July, they were more of a time-based correction where stock consolidated for a couple of months and then again has resumed its uptrend. So that high top, high bottom structure is still getting continued. And secondly, the recent news flows which we saw relating to telecom AGR, the stock did not react negatively to the news flows. So any stock that does not react negatively to such news flows clearly indicates the strength in the stock. So I think that uptrend is likely to continue. We may see in between small bit of corrections, but that corrections highly will be get bought into. So I think it's better to ride this trend and continue to hold on the existing positions.
Okay, all right. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap up. Ruchit as well as Astha, thanks very much for joining in and speaking with us. Well, it seems as though the markets are definitely picking up pace in the last 1 hour of the trading session. We have the Nifty, which is at the high point of the day, 25,930 record highs there, and the mid-cap index, which is up over 400 odd points. So good going. The Bank Nifty has really picked up that incremental pace. So that's the reason why you're seeing that lift up coming in for the overall markets. Advanced decline ratio steady, and a lot of stocks from from different sectors are managing to see some amount of buying. That's all the time that we have on the show. Do stay tuned. Closing bell will take you through the last 1 hour of trade.